Hey guys, it's me, Cali. Today I'm going to show you how I created this mixed media journal page using prompts from Mike Deakin's Mission Inspiration group. I really had a lot of fun creating this page and I hope you'll stick around and I'll show you how I did it. Don't forget to check out Mike's Facebook links below this video and you can join along on the next Mission Inspiration. Okay, so our first prompt is to cover my page with a paper lattice. And as I was putting down the masking tape in the center here, I thought, boy, that would be a good thing to use to make the lattice easy. So I'm just going to lay down strips of this masking tape diagonally across my page. And at some point, we'll be putting, color over this. I'll trim this up when I'm done. Whoa. Try to keep it as easy or as even as I can. I'm not going to measure it. Let's see. Hopefully you can see this. It's so light. And then I'll do the same way across, obviously, to make the diagonal diamond shapes. Like I said, I'll trim it when I'm done. And as per usual, I have no plans for this page. I have no idea where it's going to go. I like to work that way. Looks all right. Leave those up. And I will go ahead and trim these off camera. And I will, let's do one more. How's that? Okay, I'll see you back here with prompt. Okay, our next prompt is to add a thin coat of white gesso or paint. And I have some white gesso in an old palette dish and I've watered it down a little bit. And I have a damp rag. So I thought I would use that to apply it. And I've trimmed this up, as you can see. I think it looks pretty cool. So let's see what we get here. It says a thin layer, so that's what we're going to do. Lots of beige action going on here. So much fun to see where it'll go. And I can see some black on the edge from last month's page. Alright. That was easy. We'll let this dry and we'll be back with prompt 3. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, our next prompt is to make marks with warm tonal colors. And something was prompting me to pull out my box of Crayolas. I debated it and I went with it. So I'm going to also go out of my comfort zone. Normally, those who know me know my palette is purples and blues and greens. I'm going to keep it to these kind of neutral, warmer colors. I have copper, burnt orange, and tan. And my plan is to alternately color these boxes, you know, alternate the colors of each box, leave the masking tape as it is for now, and then when I'm done coloring, I'm going to go over the masking tape and maybe, yeah, I think I'll go over the whole thing with my Inktense blocks. I don't know, this is just an idea, guys. Like this brownish here. So I think it'll look cool against the tape and over the wax. So that's my plan. Let me color this all up, again alternating the colors with the boxes, and I'll come back and I'll show you before we do with the Inktense. Okay, I'm all done with my coloring, and I wound up using 6 crayons. I used Burnt Sienna, Bittersweet, Raw Sienna, Copper, Tan, and Burnt Orange. Very much out of my comfort zone, but I like earth tones. So now, like I said, I want to go over, I am going to go over the whole page with, I have a water brush, and I'll go right into my Derwent Inktense blocks. I haven't used these in a while. They dry permanent. I think they'll look cool over the masking tape as well as the wax. So let's see. Very cool. Alright, now let's try it over the crayon for a nice resist. Yeah, I think that's going to look cool. So I'm going to do the whole page, and then we'll dry it, and I'll come back and I'll show you what it's looking like. Okay? See you in a few. Okay, this is nice and dry now, and step 4 is to add collage elements from nature. I went back and forth with this. I was going to use some corn silk. I thought about using pieces of pine cone, and then I went to my refrigerator, and this was on my refrigerator, and this is something I made with my grandson. These are old, you know, you iron leaves between wax paper with some crayons. And I thought, boy, that might work. And I tried to pull it apart a little bit. And sure enough, I was able to. So I'm going to attempt to remove some of these. And don't worry, I have the ones that my grandchildren made. This is the one that I did. And so this is already covered in wax. And I'm going to cut out a few of them, or peel them out, and just place them randomly on the page. I have some Elmer's glue all, and I'm just going to kind of arrange them. So I'll see you back here when that is done. Okay, so I've glued these down, and believe it or not, I'm actually giving some thought to a focal image, and that's why I've arranged them this way. So I've kind of left them loose underneath. Step 5 is to add book text fragments. I have this really cool bag that I got some Happy Mail in, and it has old school book text on it. So I've ripped it up into little pieces, and I'm actually going to just add them all around the edges of the page like a border. And I usually do a border last, but in this case that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to literally, one at a time, glue them down using the Elmer's again. I'll kind of overlap them a little bit, and we'll create a border. Okay? So I'll show you a couple more. And I love how these colors all look together. It's out of my comfort zone, and that's a good place to be sometimes. Really challenge yourself. So I'm just going to go all the way around, and I'll see you back here when that's done. Okay, this is nice and dry now, and I really like the way it looks. It turned out good. So our next step is to add sequins, glitter, or mica. Well, I think mica is the way to go here. So I pulled out some of my Pearl X powders. This one's kind of a gold. Here's, I'm not much of a pink girl, but I thought this might look nice on the leaves. Here's some orange. I have this brownish. And I also have a eyeshadow that's like a dark brownish purple. So I'm literally going to just take some of this stuff on my finger. Let's start off with the brown. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. And maybe I thought we'd highlight the leaves a little bit, as well as the masking tape texture. A little goes a long way with this stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go around randomly. Let's try this orange. Wow, that's bright. Can't really see it, but that's okay. In the light, I'm going to try some on the leaves. I just want to give you an idea of where I'm taking this. Alright, so I'm going to kind of randomly highlight all over the page, and I'll see you back here when that's done. Okay, I actually added quite a lot, although it's very subtle unless you're turning it in the light, which I'm totally okay with. I did the leaves, and I also did the masking tape in the orange and that gold, and I used a little bit of the purplish eyeshadow, which I really liked a lot, especially on the leaves. So there's that. So step 7 is to add doodles, scribbles, or zentangles. And the whole time I've been doing this page, I've been thinking that I really want to use some graphite. I don't know why. I'm just really liking the muted colors of this. So I have these really cool woodless graphite pencils, and I don't use them enough at all. So I'm just going to take one, and I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to go crazy with like zentangles. I really just want to kind of outline these diamond shapes, and I may outline the border, and I'm just going to kind of smudge it out after I outline them. So I've been wanting to do this ever since I laid down the masking tape, honestly. I'm not going to go crazy. I'll see when I'm done doing this to every one if I want to add anything more, but I don't think so. I think we're just gonna go around and do that. I like how that looks. I'll do one more, and then I will finish off camera. One of these days I'll learn how to fast forward. One of my goals for the new year is to use new editing software. Okay. So, what do you think? I think that's cool. Really brings out the lattice pattern. So I'm going to finish up with that, and I'll see you back here for step number 8. Okay, so I did what I said I was going to do. I outlined all in between, and I shaded around and smudged it with my finger, and I really love how it looks. So there's that. Now, our next step, I told you I kind of had it in mind. The next step is to add a focal image. And so I saw this as kind of a headdress. And I just went ahead. It's far from being done, and it's actually ripped, but it doesn't matter. I've sketched out a face, just a rough sketch. And I'm going to have it, she's got some elf ears. Kind of underneath the leaves here. I'll be able to fit it, trust me, once I mess with it, but like that. That's my idea. So that's going to be my focal image, I think. Kind of bizarre, right? And I'm going to use either my, I think I'm going to use my watercolor pencils to color her in. And I will do that off camera, but when I'm done with that, I'm going to glue her on underneath here and see if we can incorporate her without it just looking like a floating head on a background. So I'll see you back here and I'll show you what I use to color her when I'm done. Okay, so here's where we're at. I'm pretty happy with her. I haven't glued her down yet, but you can see I kind of texturized her face. I don't know what she is. She's a woodland creature, okay? And she's going to live here under the leaves. And to color her, and these are already breaking. And actually I thought that I have some of these silk ones from another project. And I think I'm going to just kind of scatter them around behind her a little bit, just to frame her face. What do you think? And to color her, I used a combination of my Prismacolor markers. So this one is in brick beige, and I used sienna brown. And then over those, I used some of my colored pencils. These are Raffine colors by Marco, if that means anything. And I just did some like peach and orange and some browns. And then I always love to just go in with a nice graphite pencil and do some shading. So that's that. So I'm going to glue this down. Again, I'm using my Elmer's glue wall here. I need to make a glue run, but this stuff is fine. And we'll glue her down and glue the leaves down. And at the bottom, I'm going to you know, cut this here, and then I'll take some more of this text paper and just put it over there. So it just kind of finishes it up a little bit. So I'll see you when everything's glued down. Okay, this is still drying a little bit, but what do you guys think? I got carried away a little bit with the leaves. I didn't want to cover up too much of the background. And I told you that I added the border again on the bottom here. But I think she's pretty cool. And I'm happy with her. So prompt number 9 is to add a journaling quote or a phrase. And for those of you who know me, I always say this. I'm not one for adding phrases or words to my artwork. But I guess I am in this journaling phase. So I thought about it a lot. And I love song lyrics. So I'm going to use some lyrics by a song from the Moody Blues called Forever Autumn. And there's a chorus in it that says, like a song through the trees, you came to love me, like a leaf on a breeze, you blew away. So I'm just going to take one of my pens and kind of write it in the background here. And I'll show you when that's done. Okay, you can see I put the journaling down. I just did it on a strip of mixed media paper, wrote it out, and I used my Tim Holtz Distress Stain in Vintage Photo to color it. So I did it at the top, and I also did it at the bottom here. And I added some more leaves around her face. It actually kind of looks like a heart now, because I didn't like the way her neck was looking. So yeah, and you know what, I had to just stop myself because I would have covered the whole page with leaves. So we're on our last step, and this is it. So before the light gets away from me, let me just add some drips or splashes of gold. And I have some of my DecoArt Elegant Finish metallic paint. This one is in Emperor's Gold. And I've watered it down a little bit, and I'm just going to protect our face here and some of the writing. I'm not going to get too crazy with it, but and then I'm just going to use a toothbrush to do some splatters. go right in with my finger. It's a little thicker than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. Alright, I'm going to let this dry, and then that'll be it, you guys. So let me know what you think, and I'll show you. Let's take this off. Yeah. I'll let this dry, and then I'll get some close-up pictures of it, and we're going to call this done. So there you have it. See you in a few.